Good morning around the Diamond family. Welcome to another rousing episode of Around the Diamond. It is Grand Slam Sam and Baseball Bill here for you, coming to you live. We are actually filming this Friday night because Bill and I, it's a holiday weekend and we're looking to spend it with loved ones as well as watch incredible baseball. So you are getting stats as of Friday. But it's all good because you still need to know what's going on in baseball. So we're here. Baseball Bill, as always, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was just informed that we might have some issues in November with this, but we'll get another co-host. Sam apparently thinks getting married is more important than hosting Around the Diamond. So I think you should all make comments
Just,
and say, Sam,
just
Around the Diamond, then get married.
yeah, just a little, but as well, Bill. We were talking about taking our end of the year break to give ourselves a little rest and relaxation after the season ended. So the hope, top fans and Around the Diamond fans, is that we won't have to be off the air too long. But at least the end of November, we will be off the air.
Well, Sam is
But that's okay
I,
because the
I'm
World Series, the
I'm
Dodgers will not win it.
I'm trying to help your fiance by convincing you to keep the Around the Diamond up because then maybe she can reconsider the marriage. No, I'm teasing. Anyways, let's
That's
get to it.
let's
Let's
not
talk
go there.
baseball.
Let's talk baseball. Let's get into it. I'm going to be talking American League baseball this week. Bill will be talking about his Dodgers and the National League this week. Looking at the American League, the Orioles are still dominating. They are 83 and 50, 7 and 3 in their last 10. Rays are still on their tail, but the Orioles are just playing such phenomenal baseball. They are just doing fantastic. Still the shocker in that division, Yankees at the bottom of the totem pole. Moving into the Central, I'm not I'm not even going to waste our time talking about the Central. It's not worth talking about the Central. The Twins are leading. Moving over to the West, though, this division is heating up. Mariners leading the West, 76 and 57. I know it looks awkward, but the two additional games giving Astros the additional loss percentage than the Mariners. But this division is just heating up between the Astros, Rangers, and Mariners right now. Keep an eye on it. And as we say every week, see you next year, A's. Bill, what do you think about the standings before we get to the wild card picture?
I like your assessment on the Central. The Wawa West is really there and true. And pay close attention to the Orioles record when we get over into the National League. Just pay close attention. Okay, let's talk wild card.
Looking at this AL wild card, Rays have a 6.5 game lead. I'm not sure if they're going to make the postseason. That 6.5 game lead, it's going to be really tough for them to hold on to. Astros got a 1 game lead with the Rangers, even keel. The Blue Jays, though, 2.5 games back in the wild card picture. Red Sox are 6.5 games back. So it really is anyone's game in that two race. If the Red Sox can get on a tear in the next 2 weeks, they've got it. And the Yankees, I felt like this needed to be 3 rows and keys were added to it. Bill, anything on the wild card picture you want to say?
No, but I'm going to talk to you about a playoff pitcher when we're done with both standings. Right now, the Blue Jays, who have had a phenomenal season all year, are on the outside looking in, and they're outside looking in a big way. 2.5 games, and they've got a tough schedule this month, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But Bill, take me through the National League. What is happening?
Nationally, Braves still dominating. There was a great game last night in LA, where the Braves went up and then the LA Dodgers like clawed their way back, fell short 8-7, but that was fine. Phillies are still phenomenal. They are really kicking in a high gear. Notice the Marlins are now even. Notice the Nationals are now better than the Mets. The Central is still anybody's boxing match in this one. I still think the Cubs are going to pull that one out. Now, as we started filming this, the Cubs were they had won the first game of a doubleheader in Cincinnati. They're now 2.5 games back of the Brewers. And they were winning at one point as we started filming this, and the Brewers were losing. If that holds true, then the Cubs will be a game and a half out of first place, I believe. A game and a half or a game. I'm sorry, a game and a half. Dodgers are 83 and 50. Who else is 83 and 50, Sammy? The Orioles. Yes, the Dodgers are tied for the second best record in baseball. And how about them Giants finally getting into second place? What do you know? Stranger things have happened. Padres, see you next year. Rockies, see you next year.
It's a very interesting board.
Eh,
Because this one's still pretty much a fight. Well, it's not really a fight in the West and the East for the division, but it's still a fight for the wild card. And that's exciting in the National.
the National League wild card is insane.
Take me through it.
Okay, here you go. Fighting Phils, 4.5. Cubbies, plus 1.5. The Giants, even. The Diamondbacks are a game. Red Sox are a game and a half. Marlins are 3 games.
The Red Sox.
Anybody's boxing match here. The only people that I would say that probably aren't going to miss the playoffs in this scenario is the Phillies. I would say that the Cubs and the Giants and the Diamondbacks and the Reds and the Marlins all have a shot to miss the playoffs if they don't continue to play very well and very good in September, period. But this is an insane wild card race. So
that
yeah.
it is. That it is. Looking at some statistics, not really many changes. We do have our first pitcher from the American League that has gone over 200 strikeouts, and that guy is Kevin Gausman from a team that you mentioned earlier, Bill, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yep, absolutely. Guzman is Stash Strider pitched last night. Had a rocky first inning, but pitched well the rest of the game. Yeah, I mean, again, we're not going to see a 20-game winner this season. We may see a couple of 18 or 19-game winners, but I don't think we're going to see a 20-game winner.
Yeah. And batting leaders, again, not much has changed on that leaderboard for the RBIs or the batting average. It's been pretty standy, except Mookie Betts has now made his appearance on the batting average leaderboard, pulling up number 5.
Yes.
This was also a really conservative week, Bill.
Yes, it was. By the way, I just pulled it up right now. San Diego 3, San Francisco 1.
I did see that.
Yeah.
This was a really conservative week in stolen bases and home runs. I
Yes.
think that we've seen throughout the whole season.
Yes. Very conservative in both scenarios. Ronald Acuna Jr., hats off to this dude. He is the first player in Major League Baseball history that is a 30-60 guy.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And he's got a shot, depending on the month that he has this month, he has a shot to be a 40-70 guy. 40-70. That's insane.
I definitely think he's going to hit 70. I think he may hit 75.
Possibly.
40 is where I feel I'm cautious. I'm cautiously optimistic for it.
Yeah.
But I think there's no question he's going to hit 70 steals. I think that is almost a given with how he's just been dominating on the field in his field presence this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, like we mentioned, it was a very conservative week for home runs. We only went up about 120. We only went up 125 home runs this week. Again, Bill and I know only 125 home runs. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Compared to weeks we've had past, this is a very slow jump in home runs. Shohei Ohtani is still dominating, 44 home runs. Kyle Schwarber, welcome to the leaderboard, 37, with Mookie Betts at 38, Pete Alonso at 39, and Olsen at 43. Now, these are some fun topics we have this week.
Topic of the day. Here we
I don't
go.
know if this is the topic of the day or our next one is the topic of the day. I think I'm more excited for our next topic, but this one is just interesting to talk about because it all happened in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Angels put on the waiver wire about 12 players, it felt like.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. So Lucas Giolito is the one that surprises me the most because they traded for him. Now um he had a terrible run with the Angels. He was 1-5 with an ERA that was high. But again, it's hard to look at a record 1-5 when the Angels are as bad as they are, right? And so yeah, that one surprised me a little bit, or it surprised me a bit. Hunter Renfroe is one of their power hitters. I don't know why that was the case. And Harrison Bader leaving New York, I was surprised about that too, because New York needs young talent. They don't need, yeah, I'm not quite sure what New York is thinking on this
Um, it's funny because we talked about the Angels right before the trade deadline.
one.
And how they said they weren't going to be sellers. They were like, we're not selling. We're not taking offers anymore on Ohtani. We're keeping them. In fact, we're not. In fact, we're buyers now. Remember this, Bill? We were talking about the Angels being buyers at the trade deadline. And they, at the time, were, I think, second or third place. They had come off of a great couple of win streaks, had a few series wins, had a couple of good best of 10 records, and things were kind of on the point of like possibly turning for the Angels.
Yeah, yeah. So, so what I don't understand is I'm looking at Hunter Renfroe's stats right now. His career batting average is 240. He's got 176 home runs, 450 RBIs. That is his career batting average. His batting average this season is 239, 19 home runs, 56 RBIs. So basically, he's having a standard year for himself. Um, I don't know why the Angels felt like they needed to get rid of this guy. I really don't. Maybe it makes sense. I mean, somebody help me out. Somebody help me out. I don't get it.
If the Angels were potentially trying to make a play to keep Shohei, they're not putting themselves in a good position.
No, no.
They are dropping players like flies. They consistently are losing. They can't even keep Shohei healthy.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is
Shohei put so much on himself that he tore something because no one else on the team is doing enough to help him.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So as we look at this waiver wire and we look at the Angels that are releasing players, like, and the Yankees coming in and getting rid of, young talent, do we look at the team and say, are they are they trying to plan something for the future, or have they just lost so much faith in guys that they're like, we just need to let younger guys play and give them the chance because the guys we have, we can't rely on?
Sure. I don't know how to answer that because to me, it is such a unique scenario that these guys are in the locker room. There is an article written by a huge Angels fan, and he he wrote an article about uh how the Angels are the laughing stock of baseball. And he's a huge Angel fan. You got to read it, but he just calls it like it is. He just says it like it is. And I don't know what the Angels front office is thinking. I don't know what the Yankees front office is thinking. I don't think we'll see Aaron Boone back. I don't know.
Well, I definitely don't think we'll see Aaron Boone back.
Yeah.
Do they get younger with their coaching staff if they get rid of Aaron Boone, or do they go with a veteran?
Yes.
Everything in between?
Yeah. The problem that you're going to have with a team like the Yankees is, first of all, you're expected to win every game. You're expected to go 162-0. And you also have some pretty big egos on that team. And rightfully so. People that have been successful, not that they have egos, but Aaron Judge, you've got Giancarlo Stanton, you've got Anthony Ramirez or Anthony Rizzo over there. If you bring in a younger manager, they may not have the respect that is demanded. Look at what Dusty Baker did when he came into Houston. Look at what your boy is doing over in Texas, right? These guys have to be able to demand respect and get it because of experience. And so if you bring in a younger manager, he may or may not have that. Look what the Angels are doing with Phil Nevin. They let go of Joe Madden. They replaced him with Phil Nevin. How's that working out?
Yeah.
So
you kind of got to take the good with the bad and see what comes of it.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So this is a topic that I think is really the fun topic to talk about.
Get it up. Let's do it.
So for these guys. So, we talk about the Angels who just released, a quarter of their team. Also something to bring up because we didn't mention it. As today is September 1st, the league has officially expanded the roster. Roster expansion went into effect as of midnight today, or last night into today. So all teams, I believe, are now 28. Is that right, Bill?
Yep. Yep.
So that is also going to be very impactful. Having the ability to interchange 2 additional players on your roster for the next month of the season, where you could flip flop an extra pitcher, an extra batter, an extra DH, an extra pinch runner. Very strategic, especially for those wild card teams. So wanted to just make sure I mention that before we touch on this fantastic topic.
Yep.
These are all teams that, Bill, at the beginning of the season, would you have expected any of these teams to be in the bottom of their division?
Oh, no. No. In fact, I think I predicted 4 out of these 5 teams to win their division.
I think I may have come close to doing the same. And what's interesting about this, top fans, around the Diamond fans, is currently you have the San Diego Padres in 4th place. You have the White Sox currently in 4th place. You have the Angels currently in 4th place. You have the Cardinals currently in last place, and the Mets currently in last place. Now, at the beginning of the season, as Bill mentioned, and I think I may have done the same, 4 of these 5 teams were slated to win their division. Not only slated to win their division by Top Fan and Around the Diamond, they were slated to win their division by MLB, ESPN, CBS, MSN, Bleacher Report. It was like everything in far in between. Those teams were expected to win.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and the funny part is I picked the National League Championship Series to be between the Padres and the Mets.
You did actually, yeah.
And so that, to see the Mets dismantle and say, hey, we don't even want to be competitive until 2026. What's been going around, I have been sent, and if you're listening to this, please don't send it to the Top Fan Instagram page or send it to me on Twitter. I've seen it 100 times. Okay. The Big Four in San Diego being interviewed, talking about who do we want to play in the World Series next year. And Manny Machado says, I don't care. We're going to beat them anyways. Well, boys, the baseball gods stop you from getting to the World Series or even the playoffs this season. So yeah, it's floating around there. The question is what's next, right? And if these teams don't get younger, and if they don't look for talent that they can bring up through the system, they're going to struggle. The Padres have 4 guys on their team right now that are superstars and would be so and so, and the blah 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 whatever team comes to town, right? Whether that's Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Xavier Bogarts, or Xander Bogarts, it doesn't matter,
You
right?
can even include Blake Snell in that
Well,
conversation.
exactly. And so at the end of next season, Blake Snell um and
Juan
Juan
Soto.
Soto are free agents. So what does that look like? Will the Yankees make a play for Fernando Tatis? They rumored it this last season. So what happens if at the end of next season, the San Diego Padres are without Blake Snell, they're without Juan Soto, and they're without Fernando Tatis? Then where are we at? I don't know. The Mets have talked about taking offers for Pete Alonso, so let's see how that plays itself out.
Actually, I saw a report recently that the Mets no longer plan on taking offers on Pete Alonso, and they plan on keeping him. But
Let's hope so.
this could just be Steve Cohen's flavor of the day, where now he's appeasing to the fans and getting them back on his good side, only to rip their hearts out again like he did this season by trading away their 2 starting pitchers.
So Uncle Stevie learned a lesson. Okay. And it's hard when you're in the middle of it. And Sam, I'm going to dare to say that if you own the Mets or if I own the Mets, even being as big a baseball fans as we are, being right in the thick of it, we may have made the same mistake. Okay. The
Well,
Mets
there's
play.
a difference. There's one thing.
Yeah, what's that?
I would not own it. I wouldn't own it. I would not own the Mets.
If you had a choice to
I
own a
would
baseball
rather
team,
not own a baseball team than own the Mets.
I don't know. I'd own the Mets. If I had that money and I had the ability to own a baseball team, I'd own the Mets. Heck, I'd own the Giants. Owning a baseball team, it'd be awesome,
As a
right?
Dodgers fan, you would own the Giants.
Of course.
Would
course.
you? Now, here's the question, though. Would you want them to win?
Of course, it's by money, right?
I'm
Now,
just
would I
checking
have them?
to see
Would
where
I
your
have them sit
allegiance.
all their players
I'm just
every time
checking
they're
in to
playing the
see where your
Dodgers?
allegiances were lying in this. You could have been a Dodger fan that bought the Giants and said, "I want them to tank.
Yeah,
I want
no,
them to be the Angels."
trust me, I would sit all the good players during the Dodger series, but besides for
Yeah,
that,
that's
yeah, I
good.
want to kick the crap out of
So what do you
everybody
want?
else.
So what is it about this?
So
That you
Stevie
want
Cohen, he learned his lesson. You can't go out and just buy players. You have to develop the farm system. And you and I will have an episode after the season's over, depending on how the playoffs play out. That's a sentence you don't get to say a lot. How the playoffs play out, about homegrown talent versus buying talent and how to get the appropriate mixture of both. How do you get the appropriate mixture of both?
Yes,
And so, yeah. So that's on the
100%.
that's my what's next.
What's next in my eyes for these guys? They just need to they need to develop their youth more. They need to stop buying players. And I'm gonna bring something up that may touch you a little bit, but I agree with you. The Mets and the Padres have become the Dodgers of the late 2000s, early 2010s, where they were just buying players. Remember that?
Yep, I do.
And all of a sudden, like, they couldn't get anything going. And then they brought up young talent and they started to get rid of bad expensive players and bring in quality, good expensive players that worked with the team and blended in. And that's what these teams need to do. We're, as Bill said, we'll do a episode where we talk about homegrown talent and the mixed buying. But that's what these teams have gotten to. They've just started buying their teams.
Yeah.
And you can't win when you buy your team.
Nope.
The Yankees are going through that also right now. The Yankees could easily be on this list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's next? They need to get better. That's what's next.
Yep. Agreed.
But you got a big week coming up for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's talk about that. Text and Beloved are going to be on the show on Labor Day because we are having a watch party in Houston, Texas, Patterson Park. If you're listening to this and you are in the Houston area, go check out Patterson Park. We'll be there for the watch party. Andrew is a Mets fan. He is going to talk and break down his fandom for the Mets and also what he thinks. Lamar's going to be on. He's going to talk Phillies. Bree's going to be on. Jamie's going to be on. He's going to also talk Phillies. So it's going to be a full week of podcast in the leagues. The Monday through Friday show. The Astro 4 will be on Monday. Friday, there will be a 1-hour episode. Mets Meg is going to be on. Thomas is going to be on. Oscar's going to be on. We are going to have so much fun. That starts at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. 11 a.m. on the East Coast. So, yep. And speaking of other things and what's next, here it is right here. Normally you see the slide and say, oh, articles, podcasts. Okay. Top Fan Rivalry followers, listen. You can get Top Fan Rivalry's locker room right now for $58 or $6 a month, whichever you prefer. Okay. Here's what you're getting from that. Here's what Top Fan Rivalry is doing starting today, starting next week, but starting in September. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you will have a brand new article to read in the locker room. This coming Monday, Dave Hummel, who's a Phillies fan, is going to write. Mets Meg is hers drops on Wednesday, and then on Friday, we have Jason Beck talking about the Yankees. Okay, every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not only that, but every week you're going to get a weekly review with Jackson and Bill. Every week you're going to get a Around the Diamond. Now, we may have a week or two off on the Around the Diamond coming up. We may have some pinch hitters coming in, but you, for $6 a month, you are going to get at least plus the rivalry talk, at least 21 pieces of content every month, even in the off season. 21 pieces of content for a 31-day month is not bad for $6 a month. What do you think, Sam? That's the new announcement.
I mean, I think it's fantastic. I think it's spectacular. And if anyone's not taking advantage of it, they're missing out. But if they're missing out, they need to start taking advantage of it, and they can get a little extra bonus. You know what that bonus is? If they use the code ATD to sign up, they get 10% off the subscription cost every month.
On the $58 one. On the $6 one. Yeah, on the $6 one, they don't. We have too many credit card fees that will play into that. But on the $58 one,
you can get 10% off the purchase price. So that brings it down to just under $53 for the year. For all of that content. It is such an amazing deal. I don't know why you're not doing it.
Why aren't you doing it? Exactly.
Gotta take advantage of it. And the way to take advantage of it is, again, use the code ATD, all caps. It'll get you that 10% off. Well, Bill, this was a great episode. Anything else you want to say to the top fans out there?
No, let's get at it and let's do it again next week.
I think I'm ready for it. Let's enjoy it, and we will see you on the field.
Have a good night.